You ever seen a coil go up to 360 watts? Today I'm going to teach you how to build one.
Say so.
Today on the program, I'm going to be teaching you a coil build that can go way over 300 watts. 360 watts to be exact. Look at that! As you can see, I've already filmed the end of this video first because it looks like a giant nautical fog has rolled in from this 360 watt coil build. That's not clickbait. That is 360 watts of coil. Look at this insanity. So today on the program, I'm going to teach you one of my most favorite high wattage coil builds. And also we're going to try some really incredible juice from our friends over at Budget Vapors. This is a coffee flavor called Mocha Swirl. Now I've already filmed the end of this video, as you can see, so I already know that it's an incredible juice, and I would put this up. See, if I didn't already film my top 5 favorite flavors from Budget Vapors, that video that's probably right there, I would have included this juice in my top 5 favorite flavors, but what are you gonna do? Maybe I'll have to make a part 2. So anyways, today's coil build is kind of gonna answer a couple questions that I get pretty frequently. Frequent question I get is, hey Gabe, I only have round wire to work with. What is your favorite round wire build? And also a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about super high wattage builds and flat coils. How to make flat THICC thick round wire coils. And today I'm going to be teaching you my favorite method for that. Super easy, insanely flavorful, insane vapor production build. So let's dive right into it after this commercial from Budget Vapors.
Click over to budgetvapors.com to get some of my most favorite flavors in the entire industry for 15% off using my promo code Gabe sent you. When you use my promo code over on Budget Vapors, you can get 120 milliliters of premium e-liquid for just $8.49. Also available on budgetvapors.com is my juice line. The Light Designs liquid line is available in 60 and 120 milliliter bottles. Both my juice line and the many delicious Budget Vapors flavors are developed in a high quality lab down in Florida. When you pick up my juice line or use my promo code, it really helps keep the Light Designs program going. So thank you all so much for helping support the channel. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite coils to build. This is one of my most favorite builds to do, and I'm really excited to teach you guys it. It's super easy, super fun, and you can be pretty creative with it. So I would recommend doing this build with a lower gauge of wire. I would say around 24 gauge and lower. And I would only recommend doing this build with Kanthal or stainless steel. Nichrome, titanium, nickel, all the other wires out there are very brittle when they're kind of put through this amount of stress. So for today's build, I personally am going to be working with 18 gauge stainless steel. Now, please do not watch this video and just go buy 18 gauge stainless steel without knowing how to use such an advanced wire. 18 gauge stainless steel is an extremely advanced wire with an extremely low resistance. So please, if you are going to build with a lower resistance wire like 20 gauge and 18 gauge and wires like that, please have a knowledge of Ohm's law underneath your belt. Blowing crazy vape clouds and having giant coils is super cool, but safety is more important than anything else. Safety for yourself, safety for your loved ones, and safety for our industry is extremely important. So please, when you're ordering wire and building coils, just take a deep breath, take a step back, check your resistance, and make sure what you are using is safe for your device. So like I said, for today's build, I am personally going to be using 18 gauge stainless steel because I'm putting my build on a device that can handle such a low wire. Now I would recommend working with around about a little over a foot of wire because you want to have a firm grasp to work with it. Now for this build, you are going to need a flat hammer. There's a lot of different hammers out on the market. You want a hammer that has a nice flat face to it so you can hammer something flat with it. I would also recommend doing this process on a surface that will not transfer. So you are hammering wire on top of a surface, and you don't want that surface to transfer onto your wire, because then you'll be vaping whatever the surface is that's on the wire, and you just don't want to do that. It opens a whole can of worms. I am working with a small piece of granite countertop. Granted, you are not like sledgehammering a brick wall down, but you are repeatedly hitting the same spot, and a small piece of granite countertop seems to work perfectly fine for my build. So the method I would recommend to get this process perfect and have a cohesive flatness throughout the entire wire is work with like 2 inches of wire, go forward, pull it back, do it again, and then go through your whole complete wire like twice, maybe 3 times, depending on how hard you're hitting it, and don't miss any spots. As you hammer throughout the wire, it's going to want to sweep and bend and twist around a little bit, and my advice to you with that is to just go with the flow. Move your hand around how you need to move your hand around. Don't try to fight the wire. Let the wire do what it wants to do, and try to keep a cohesive flatness throughout the entire wire, which actually is a lot more difficult than it may sound. If you're trying to fight the wire and readjust it, and you got pliers trying to straighten it out like it's like a fuse clap-in that got messed up in a drill, that's not going to work here. You need to kind of go with the flow and hammer the wire how the wire wants to be hammered, and you'll see way better results as if you were to like, oh, I messed that up, I'll just hammer it the other way. So for this particular build, it wants a lot of room. So I wouldn't recommend going any smaller than 3mm wraps with this. For my build here, I have secured down a 3.5mm screwdriver down into my vise. If you've never built coils using a screwdriver in a vise, I highly recommend it because it makes a world of difference. So once you flatten out round wire, the funny thing happens to it, it adopts a lot of characteristics of ribbon wire and becomes extremely slippery and hard to hold. So I grabbed some weird pliers here. They're like little crimpy pliers. You can just use normal pliers, but highly recommend grabbing one end of your wire with some sort of pliers or some sort of thing that is stronger than your fingers, because this wire is going to be really slippery. So some normal pliers work fine. A main goal here is to take your time while wrapping this wire, because you don't want it to twist around. That is the last thing you want, is it for it to twist around. And the wire is going to want to twist around on you. It's going to fight you the whole time. So you can see here my wire is starting to have a lean on it, and I can see that it's going to be a problem when I go into the next wrap. So you can grab another set of pliers or some ceramic tweezers or whatever you got to kind of walk the wire back a little bit, get it back into formation, and then wrap it again. If you need to do that before every wrap, that's just how it is, and take the extra second to do that, because if you don't, that's going to twist on one of your ways around the screwdriver, and it's going to ruin the coils, and it's not going to be the desired look that you are working so hard to. So after you fix all that, chances are it's not going to be sitting 100% perfect. And if it isn't, you can take your screwdriver off of your vise and bring it back to wherever you hammered your wire flat and hammer the wraps gently onto the screwdriver, and you'll notice that everything will line up and lay down perfectly how you like it. I think that's kind of really it. I mean, take your time with it, have fun with it. This is a super fun build to do, and one of my most favorite cloud chasing, flavor chasing builds. The flavor is going to be fantastic because it has a lot of characteristics to ribbon wire, and the cloud production is going to be incredible because it is still round wire. I also have some really cool variations of this coil where I can kind of take this wire and turn it into a staple coil. So if you guys would like to see that and some other variations, let me know down in the comments below. So from here, let's roll the super fancy B-roll of me installing it in time-lapse format, and then we'll vape it. So I think this is going to be the highest wattage that I have ever vaped before. I've never gone above, I believe, like 235, maybe 250 is the highest prior to this video that I had ever vaped wattage wise. This crazy Leissimo F4 mod that I will have a full review up on the channel for very soon goes all the way to 360 watts. So I'm assuming at around 300 plus watts, on the higher side of 300 plus watts, it's gonna be a pretty warm vape. And what a better juice to enjoy at a hotter temperature than a coffee flavor. Right here I have Mocha Swirl. This is a Budget Vapors flavor that we opened up last episode or the episode before that. I'll leave it in the little annotation clickable link thing up at the top of the screen if you want to check it out. It's a really good episode. I really enjoy it. So it kind of goes without saying, but I've never tried this juice before, and I do have this in a 70-30 in zero nicotine. And this flavor right here, among many other flavors, is available from budgetvapors.com for $8.49 using my promo code. I also just released a video on the channel recently of my top 5 favorite Budget Vapors flavors. I'll put that in a little clickable link guy. I hope this is the right side of the screen that I'm putting the clickable link on, or that would just be confusing. I'm filming today during the daytime, which I normally never ever do. Normally my show gets filmed around between like 2 to 5 a.m. And I'm up during the daytime today, and I'm just kind of like I don't even know who I am right now. So we need to wake it up with some coffee. If you're looking for a really solid chocolate juice, I would recommend checking out Chocolate Milk from their Vapory Farms line over on Budget. It literally tastes like you put a bunch of Hershey's syrup in a glass of chocolate milk, and it's really good. So if you're lactose intolerant and you want to enjoy some chocolate milk, that's a perfect option. Oh, and my particular build that I did ended up coming to a 0.07, so this is a very low build. All right, so without further ado, Mocha Swirl on my crazy flattened 18 gauge build in the Buddha V2 RDA with the Leissimo F4 mod, and I still have juice all over the place. I'm such an over dripper. Like this video if you're an over dripper. All right, cheers everybody. Okay, the juice is really good. The juice is really good. Okay, nice. I'm so glad they went that route. Hold on, let me take one more and I'll explain it to you. Oh, yes. Okay, so I was a little bit nervous that they were going to take the kind of like industry standard coffee house route with this juice. You know how if you go to a fancy coffee house, the coffees are like very sweet, kind of like caramel macchiatos and those kind of coffees. I personally don't like sweet coffee at all. I'm not someone who puts sugar in my coffee. If I have anything in it besides like black coffee, I put a little bit of milk or a little bit of almond milk. I just really don't like sweet coffee. It just doesn't do it for me. This tastes like real coffee with like Hershey's syrup in it a little bit. Just like a little bit, enough to enjoy a chocolate flavor with some nice real coffee. Very happy with that. All right, so I'm gonna turn this up to 200 watts, and I feel like a lot of the chocolatey notes will come out a lot more at a very higher hot wattage as well. So here is 200 watts. You can verify there if you want. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's dumb. All right, cheers everybody. That's so good. Oh my gosh, is it good. So on the inhale, you get a little bit of the sweetness of the chocolate, and then the main note is the coffee, and then on the exhale, you get the kind of full, very soft. It's a very soft chocolate flavor. It's perfect. I will tell you this juice makes the real coffee I'm drinking taste very disappointing. All right, so let's go up to 250 watts. Vapor production is insane at 250 watts. I think that's the highest I've ever vaped. And this Buddha V2 RDA was the perfect RDA to use for a build like this because the airflow just complements the build so nicely. It's not overwhelming. It's not super spitty or hot. I could comfortably vape this at 250 watts all day. Like, sick. This is perfect. All right, I was a little bit nervous about going 300 plus, but we got this. It's nice and warm, but not overly hot. It's exactly how you want it to be. This is at 300 watts right here. Share this video with your grandmother and pat your dog. Cheers, everybody. I'm comfortably vaping this build at 300 watts. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's take this up to 350 watts. We'll save the last 10 watts for the end. This is 350 right here. 350 watts. We have 10 more watts to go. That's real good. Oh my gosh, the flavor is unreal. This flavor is unreal at a higher wattage. The notes are like right out there on the open road, not being held back by anything. The flavor is so incredible and the vapor is dense and rich and it's not overly warm. This build holds up to intense heat and wattage so well because you get the intensity of the vapor coming at you without it being like so hot and spitty that you can't vape it. This is the perfect build for this level of wattage. Oh my gosh! 360 watts, ladies and gentlemen. I could vape this all day at that wattage with this build. I could it just blows my mind that this build is holding up to a 360 watt amount of power. 360 watts! This is the kind of coffee juice that you can enjoy all day without it being like overbearing. This could very easily be an all-day vape. Perfect for the winter time and to take with you on the go, to like go do Christmas or Hanukkah shopping. It's perfect! That woke me up too. I was so like sleepy at the beginning of filming this. Now I'm like all pepped up and excited. Alright, but I recommend you pick up Mocha Swirl from Budget Vapors. Using my promo code, it's only $8.49. What are you, nuts? What are you, some kind of lunatic? I would recommend this juice to you if it was $30. I am so incredibly impressed with this. Dominic and John, my guys, thank you so much for sending this my way. I would put this in the same category as a flavor like Private Fatty. And if this is your first time watching me, Private Fatty is a very famous Budget Vapors flavor that I highly recommend you check out. So with all that being said, build this coil, enjoy this coil, build safely for your device, pick up this juice. Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about this coil, how you feel about this juice. What juice do you want to pick up next? What coil do you want to pick up next? Let me know things down in the comments below. Let's open up a discussion. If you enjoyed this video, please share it around to all of your social networks. That would really mean a lot to me. Give it a like, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification button. Make sure you click over to Budget Vapors, pick up this juice, tell them Gabe sent you. I'm going to have a review for this Leissimo mod out very, very soon. And so with all that being said, also there's cool links to stuff down in the description of the video. I can't remember if I said that or not. So with all that being said, I will see you on the next one. The fact that that is 360 watts and I'm like comfortably vaping it just blows my mind. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.